Between 2007 to July 2013, Suzuki dominated the Japanese B-segment hatchback sales charts with the first-generation Suzuki Swift. Malaysians love the notion of having a compact Japanese hatchback in a sea of Myvis. Long ago, the Swift flooded Malaysian roads, but everything changed when the second-gen CKD Honda Jazz attacked. It's cheaper to buy, it's more powerful, it's more practical, more spacious, and has a more high-tech looking interior, which led to the eventual exit of Suzuki from the Malaysian market in 2016. 5 years from there, Naza took up the distribution of Suzuki cars in Malaysia with only 2 aspiration models available, the Jimny and the Suzuki Swift Sport, priced from 130,000 ringgit, exclusively available with an automatic transmission. Is the auto any good? Why not get a cheaper recon model? Should you buy one? Let's find out. My name is Adrian, I'm all about the details, and you're watching cDrive. Naza Eastern Motors, the official distributor of Suzuki cars in Malaysia, I believe they made the right call in offering the third generation Swift exclusively in the Swift Sport variation, skipping the regular vanilla Swifts. The reason is pretty simple. If they were to offer the regular Swift, it would not make much of a business case because first they would need to heavily invest in CKD operations, commit to a high volume just for it to be priced at, say, 95,000 ringgit. Yeah. CBU, on the other hand, is out of the question. A regular Swift priced at 100,000 ringgit, no one would look its way. But the Swift Sport, on the other hand, serves a niche of driving enthusiasts looking for a lightweight pocket rocket to scratch the driving itch. Tipping the scale at 970 kilograms curb weight, the Suzuki Swift Sport is actually lighter than a Pro Duo Mighty 1.3. It also has a shorter wheelbase of 2,450mm, but despite it being lightweight and such a small car, Suzuki actually has given the Swift Sport further chassis enhancement in terms of strengthening the entire car for a more fun experience. Now this unit that you see with me right here is actually a Naza local Malaysian spec unit. Now how do you tell the difference between a Japanese recon import? Now first up are the smaller 16-inch dual-tone alloys. The Japan models get 17-inch. Over to the back here, you will see that Malaysian units lacks a rear fog lamp and has the reverse camera mounted on the lower bumper. Japan models has the reverse camera mounted below the Suzuki logo. And at the front, Malaysian spec cars gets the LED daytime running lights activated while Japan specs don't. Now over to the boot, if you notice that pressing it, even with the keys in your pocket and the car is locked, doesn't unlock the rear latch. Actually, there's another tiny button back here which you press to lock and unlock the car. And then it opens up to 265 liters of boot space, which you're able to very easily fit in a check-in luggage as well as a carry-on bag. Practical. And if you notice underneath there, local Malaysian spec cars gets a space saver spare wheel, whereas Japan Recons gets a tyre repair kit. The Swift Sport comes with keyless entry on the passenger side door as well, so it makes it easy for you to open up the passenger side door for your passenger princess. And the rear doors, actually the door handles are positioned upwards here, just like an Honda HR-V. So if you have toddlers, little kids, they want to enter the back seats, yeah, you will have to open up the doors for them. ringgit for this sort of cabin quality. Are you joking? Even a Honda City hatchback feels better than this. But if you look at it as a sports car, lightweight materials all around. The important bits to the driver in the Swift Sport, the steering wheel, nicely leather with perforation, nice to hold, very good materials. Next up, the seats, incredibly supportive, side to side, even the back arches. These are semi-bucket items. So yeah, the important parts about driving, the Swift Sport does it bang on. Fantastic visibility, great steering, great seats. That's all that matters. The rest of it, yeah, like I said, a Honda City's cabin feels better. Now, although these semi-bucket seats are very supportive when doing spirited drives, on long distance drives, just chill, relax, day-to-day driving, it can be a bit upright if you want the lumbar to support you properly, and even if you arch a little slightly backwards, yeah, you don't get support for your back here. So you're constantly finding the right position if you're on chill drive. Spirited drives, perfectly fine. So it's best if you have something like this on standby after long distance drives. Many have said that Japan recon models get much better specifications than the local Naza spec cars, which I agree to a certain extent. Yeah, you get 360-degree camera as well as level 2 ADAS, adaptive cruise control in Japan recon models. However, there's one point that the local Malaysian spec cars has, and I think this convinced me to get a local spec car rather than a Japan recon, is that the instrument gate cluster is in English. The entirety of the menu are all in English, and I think this is just fantastic. And if you press and hold the info button, you will access to the drop-down menus, which are able to cycle through all the different settings within the screen here, and it's all in English. The Japan recon models, because for their domestic market, it's only available in Japanese, so you're not able to cycle between the different languages. Some will say that, but Adrian, Japan recon models comes with a 6-speed manual. That's driver engagement, that's everything that you need. Yes and no. The Suzuki Swift Sport manual versions, yes, it targets to the pure driving enthusiasts. You're there to set sepang lap times, stay in and out. However, I think that the auto is not too shabby, and I'll tell you why in a bit later. But first up are the cabin spaces in here. Yeah, you get storage spaces over to the center here, 2 cup holders limited here, 1 cup holder over to the center, and the side door bins don't fit a large size water bottle. Over to the passenger seat, storage spaces, again, it's very limited. And to open up the glove box is a conventional latch. Yeah, nothing to shout about. Over to the charging ports, there's only one USB Type-A connection over to the front, and that is occupied by the driver to connect to Apple CarPlay. Hence, you will need a 12-volt socket adapter if you want to charge out your devices. Now, the vanity mirror has no vanity lights. Despite having a shorter wheelbase compared to a Myvi, rear legroom in the Suzuki Swift Sport is actually not too shabby. I have the front seat adjusted to my usual driving position. I'm 175 cm tall. I have about 2 pickleballs worth of knee room. And space in the footwell, actually the front seat is raised ever so slightly, so I'm able to very comfortably slide my feet underneath the front seat. Now even the seat is in its most lowest position, so yeah, perfectly fine. And once I adjust the backrest, yeah, sitting posture is not too bad, although a little bit upright, and there's no adjustment for the rear seat recline. I have to always remember myself not to look at this car as a 130,000 ringgit car, but a B-segment hatchback. As far as B-segment hatchback goes, yeah, this is not too bad. However, I do feel a little bit claustrophobic. That's because my eye line is very close to the top of the window, so I feel that this portion right here is a little bit pressing me down. Family with kids will be happy to know that the rear R22 seats comes with ISOFIX mounting points. Now, I understand why so many people are so in love with the Suzuki Swift first, second, even in third generation model. Because driving in town is just so effortless, and it's down to its lightweight, right? It just makes maneuvering around town, going over traffic, trying to overtake, so effortless. You don't have to stretch or work the car. And even in this most extreme form, the Suzuki Swift Sport, the undulations as well as the speed stripes, the expansion joints are very well managed despite having stiffer suspension setup compared to a regular Swift. So really, Suzuki are masteros in terms of having the suspension tuned for not just a sporty handling, but for everyday comfort. Now, something I've noticed that even for export markets, Swift Sports, which have their minimum fuel requirements set or tuned to RON 95, if I'm running on pure 95 at low speeds between 1200 to 1800 RPMs, there's a little bit of hesitation in terms of the throttle pedal, and that is instantly gone once I fill it up with 97, which is suited for the car, or rather should I say better suited for the car. I think the beauty of the automatic transmission, everyone is saying that, oh no, Swift Sport must be a manual, you have to get the engaging driving experience. I'm driving an automatic right now and I love it. Because, you know, 80% of the time if I'm using this car, it will be my daily driver, right? It's supposedly to be replacing a Myvi, so to speak. So I want it to have this sort of everyday drivability, which an automatic transmission would suit its character a whole lot better when I'm stuck in traffic, stuck in jams, and just want to relax, cruise on the highway. Having an automatic transmission just suits this nature of, or the rather should I say, the need for the car as an everyday daily driver. And once you're out onto the open road, some might lap us, oh, there's no manual, it's not fun. I don't know, but look at this on my face. Oh, the transmission is just so responsive. One pull and immediately it engages to the next gear, whether up or down. And mind you that the Suzuki Swift Sport has no drive mode selection whatsoever. You don't have to place it in normal, eco, sport mode, nothing at all. Immediate response from the engine, transmission holds its revs, and you just flick it into a corner. Full, completely stock car, and you're getting just so much feel and engagement coming through the wheels. It really just puts a big smile on your face. This is the kind of car that you want to spend your weekends in. Holiday drives, and you feel that the chassis is such a playful thing. The rear wants to come around you, follow the front, yet the car will just maintains its line. Oh, wonderful, fantastic. And once you dial it back down to a cruise at 110 kilometers per hour, the RPM is hanging slightly above 2000 RPMs. And that's because that the automatic transmissions has longer gear ratios compared to the manuals. So in terms of refinement and fuel consumption, the automatics will definitely be better compared to the manuals. Well, no doubt, having a manual transmission will be really engaging, but as I mentioned earlier, it really boils down to what you want and need in a car. To me, I view this as a replacement to first, second generation Suzuki Swifts, something to upgrade. You know, I'm a die-hard Swift fan. This one, fantastic, fabulous. The automatics is just great. And if you're looking to replace your daily driver with something a little bit more excitement, I think the Suzuki Swift Sport will definitely fit your bill. And having an automatic, yeah, it's just effortless. However, something to highlight to all of you future Suzuki Swift Sport owners or current owners, it's that you really have to watch your engine oil temperatures in this car, because the 1.4 booster jet turbo engine tends to run a little bit warmer compared to other equivalent small capacity turbocharged engines. So it's quite normal to hover above 105 degrees Celsius when you're on a cruise on a warm day like this. However, there are plenty of aftermarket solutions to fix this, one of which I would say is the most practical one, is having a low temperature thermostat. So which means that the thermostats would open for cooling much earlier at a much lower temperature compared to its stock original thermostats. So that will help to cool, or rather the radiators will work a little bit harder or quicker and earlier to cool down the engine much faster. So once you have that installed, it does cost around 350 ringgit. If anyone were to ask me whether the Auto Swift Sport is worth buying, is it any good? I would say don't dismiss it. Unless you are looking for a track-only weapon, then yes, by all means go with the manual, or you're an avid die-hard manual fan, yes. However, I would say do not dismiss the automatic transmission, because this one, as a daily driver, everyday companion, even give you some fun, I think the automatic Swift Sport really just hits the sweet spot. And it's a car that everybody can drive in the family. Myself, my partner, my parents could also be driving this Suzuki Swift Sport. But is the Japan recond units worth getting? I would say yes, if you manage to find a good unit and it's within your budget. Otherwise, I would say go with the local Malaysian Spec for that peace of mind. And most importantly, it comes with an English readout for the instrument cluster, which is, to me, is incredibly important, just so that I know what everything is going on. So if you're out comparing fun little hot hatches, make sure you remember all the intricate details of the Suzuki Swift Sport from my video and see how those other cars stacks up against this compact little pocket rocket. My name is Adrian, thanks for watching cDrive, and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more detailed videos like this. Bye-bye. Come on, let's go.